Hey everybody, this is David Skriga. So this is gonna be a quick video here. Profit pessimism, stock chart of the day, whatever you want to call it. Um, so we're just gonna look at gold because I do think gold had kind of this interesting trading pattern the last few days. So we'll go to GLD here, and then we'll look actually gold itself. So this looks like it could be a short-term topping formation to me. Now we've seen this huge move. We're up over, and this is not, a meme stock or a cryptocurrency or whatever. This is a very, very, this is gold. This is one of the larger commodities that's traded in the world. So, just see a move like this. I think we could see some consolidation today. There's no, and it's down a little more after hours, or pre-market. I'm doing this around 5 in the morning, Eastern, before I go back to sleep, and I'll post it in the morning. So anyhow, so I do think we're like in this short-term kind of move, and the gold stocks have done. You can see again this kind of rally. They kind of lagged here. They didn't go back to the highs, and they were down 2%. The GDX and the GDXJ as well. And again, we've had these huge moves. Like you can see, the gold stocks have finally woken up, and we've seen very good earnings from a lot of these companies. We've seen very strong cash flows. And it makes sense because oil languishing around 60. That's one of their big input costs, and really like global inflation is slowed, so they don't have the big wage gains to pay workers, et cetera, as well. And until the last few weeks as well, a lot of these foreign currencies, like the Canadian dollar or other currencies, were there's a production of precious metals. Like for example, a lot of the currencies in South America had been lagging the U.S. dollar, which means they get more in the local currency. And a lot of these companies, of course, like when they report their earnings, they're actually converting the gold to the local currency. So like for example, the Canadian dollar goes down 10% against the US dollar and gold does nothing, it means in Canadian dollar terms, gold's gone up 10%, right? So that's kind of how it works. So of course, the flip side of that is now other currencies rallying against the US dollar, they'll see that. But as long as gold keeps going up in their own currency, they should be okay. But I just think that now you look at some kind of trade deals made with the UK, and I think we're going to see these kind of trade. We still got about 2 months left to that 90 days is over. I think we're going to see some more trade deals made, probably with more minor trading partners. The UK and the US don't trade a huge amount. Like most of the UK trade goes to Europe. I think over 50% of UK's trade goes to Europe. And I think only something like 9% of their exports go to the United States. So it's not like a huge deal. So I think that's what you're going to see. And I think that the European Union and the China and these larger economies, because are going to be a little more complicated. So, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is I think that we can continue to see the stock market kind of rally. I've talked about this at length where, we can talk about this more in another, because I just want to focus on gold and precious metals, for today. And you can see this here. I think that, yeah, we had this little formation. And if you go look at gold historically, this is kind of the area, April, May. You can see this happen last year. There was a kind of consolidation until the fall, till the gold stocks really moved higher. And if we go look at gold itself, we'll see the same thing. And we can see there was this kind of like April, May period, and then gold kind of went sideways till it had this breakout. And remember, gold as recently as October of 2023 was under 2,000 an ounce. You know, and so we've almost seen a double. And again, this is a huge commodity. So it's not surprising to see this here. So I would look for this consolidation, maybe the stock market rally to continue, especially because now some of the positive things of Trump's agenda are going to come out. He's talking about the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, the tax cuts, et cetera. So maybe the market kind of now discounts those positive things, and then I think, and then maybe later this year, I think we revert back to gold going higher, maybe the stock market languishing or going lower, trading lower, etc. So last thing we'll kind of look at here as I end off this stock chart of the day is a gold to silver ratio, and you can see it's still over 100 to 1. So you're still getting this great opportunity, I think, to buy silver, and I would expect if we go look at silver. Silver did not hit a new high in this last week. And silver actually hasn't broke the October highs the last year, partly because, this has been a really flight to safety over fears of the US dollar, because of a lot of the policies that are being implemented. And so I would expect that at some point silver will outperform. And I would expect on this consolidation, silver won't have that much downside. Like, if gold, say, goes to, gold could go to 3,000, and maybe silver just sits there at 31, 32, 30. And I think even overnight on the continuation, the sell off in gold, you're seeing silver basically flat. And I would see more of those trades. So I really like the silver equities. I think on dips here in the next few months, you can continue to purchase. I just took a big position in a silver junior that's trading at 50 cents per ounce. That's for paying subscribers. So anyhow, I'm just going to leave that for now. And I hope everyone's doing good. And yeah, so I think we are finally now going to see this more lengthy consolidation in gold and silver in the coming months. And maybe this will coincide with kind of like maybe a rally in the stock market. And then I'll have to judge that rally as it happens. Like there's been a lot of positives, like the advanced decline line has actually broken out to new highs on this rally. And of course, the market's nowhere near, which that tells us that internals are actually outperforming. And that's usually actually at least short and intermediate term, and sometimes longer term, more positive. So that's why I try not to like allow politics or allow my emotions or whatever to get in the way of like my trading. So anyhow, everybody take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.